Hi, good morning. So this morning we'll be talking on the world's second largest religion, which is Islam. Okay, so Islam is the second world's largest religion, second to Christianity, with about 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide. As one of the three Abrahamic religions, the others, being Judaism and Christianity, is still a monotheistic faith that worship one God, called Allah. So the word Islam means submission or surrender, as is faithful surrender to the will of Allah, although its roots go back further in time. Scholars typically date the creation of Islam to the 7th century, making it the youngest of the major world religions. Islam started in Mecca, in modern-day Saudi Arabia, during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Today, the faith is spreading rapidly throughout the world, widely practiced in the Middle East and North Africa. It also has many adherents in South Asia. Indonesia, in fact, has the largest numbers of followers in the Islamic faith. So we'll go to some facts with regards to Islam. The word Islam means submission to the will of God. And followers of Islam are called Muslims. Muslims are monotheistic and worship one all-knowing God, who in Arabic known as Allah. So followers of Islam aim to live a life of complete submission to Allah. They believe that nothing can happen without Allah's permission, but humans have free will. Islam teaches that Allah's word was revealed in the Prophet Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. Muslims believe several prophets were sent to teach Allah's law. They respect some of the same prophets as Jews and Christians, including Abraham, Moses, Noah, and Jesus. Mosques are places where Muslims worship. Some important Islamic holy places include the Kaaba Shrine in Mecca, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, and the Prophet Muhammad's Mosque in Medina. The Quran is the major holy text of Islam. The Hadith is another important book. Muslims also revere some material found in the Judeo-Christian Bible. Followers worship Allah by praying and reciting the Quran. They believe there will be a day of judgment and life after death. So the central idea in Islam is jihad, which means struggle. While the term has been used significantly or negatively in the mainstream culture, Muslims believe it refers to internal and external efforts to defend their faith. Although rare, this can include military jihad if a just war is needed. Okay. So let's talk about Muhammad. Who is Muhammad? So the Prophet Muhammad, sometimes spelled Muhammad or Muhammad, was born in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia in AD 570. Muslims believe he was a final prophet sent by God to reveal their faith to mankind. According to Islamic texts and tradition, an angel named Gabriel visited Muhammad in 610 while he was meditating in a cave. The angel ordered Muhammad to recite the words of Allah. Muslims believe that Muhammad continued to receive revelations from Allah throughout the rest of his life. So starting about 614, Muhammad began preaching throughout Mecca and the messages he received. He taught that there was no other God but Allah, and that Muslims should devote their lives to this God. Next, we'll talk about the Hijrah Abu Bakr. In 622, Muhammad traveled to Mecca to Medina with his supporters. This journey became known as the Hijrah, spelled as Higira or Hijra. marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. Some 7 years later, Muhammad and his many followers returned to Mecca and conquered the region. He continued to preach until his death in 632. After Muhammad's passing, Islam began to spread rapidly. A series of leaders known as caliphs became successors to Muhammad. This system of leadership, which was run by a Muslim ruler, became known as caliphate. So the first caliph was Abu Bakr, Muhammad's father-in-law and close friend. Abu Bakr died 2 years after he was elected and was succeeded in 654 by Caliph Umar, another father-in-law of Muhammad. By the way, when we talk of the caliphate system, when Umar was assassinated in 6 years after being named as caliph, Uthman, Muhammad's son-in-law, took the role. So Uthman was also killed, and Ali, Muhammad's cousin, son-in-law, was elected as the next caliph. So during the reign of the first 4 caliphs, Arab Muslims conquered large regions in the Middle East, including Syria, Palestine, Iran, and Iraq. Islam also spread throughout areas in Europe, Africa, and Asia. The caliphate system lasted for centuries and eventually evolved into the Ottoman Empire, which controlled large regions in the Middle East from about 1517 until 1917, when World War I ended the Ottoman reign. So that is the brief background of what is Islam is about. And by the way, to continue, we talk of Sunnis and Shiites. Okay. So when Muhammad died, there was a debate over who should replace him as leader. So this led to a schism in Islam. The two major sects emerged as the Sunnis and the Shiites. Okay. So Sunnis made up the early 90% of Muslims worldwide. They accept that the first 4 caliphs were true successors to Muhammad. And the Shiite Muslims believe that only the Caliph Ali and his descendants are the real successors to Muhammad. They deny the legitimacy of the first 3 caliphs. Today, Shiite Muslims have a considerable presence in Iran, Iraq, and Syria. By the way, there are other types of Islam. Other smaller Muslim denominations within the Sunni and the Shiite groups exist. Some of them are the Wahhabi. This is a Sunni sect made up of members of the Tamim tribe in Saudi Arabia. Was founded in the 18th century. Followers who serve an extremely strict interpretation of Islam that was taught by Muhammad bin Abdul al-Wahhab. Next is the Alawite. This Shiite form of Islam is prevalent in Syria. Followers hold similar beliefs about the Caliph Ali, but also observe some Christian and Zoroastrian holidays. Then we have the Nation of Islam. This primarily black Sunni sect was founded in 1930s in Detroit, Michigan. Black Muslims now comprise 1/5 of all Muslims in the United States. Then we have the Sufism, a mystical denomination of Islam. Those who follow the Sufi faith seek to attain a purer state of existence through their personal and direct relationship with God. Then we have the Kharijites or Kharijites. This sect broke from the Shiites after disagreeing over how to select a new leader. So they are known for radical fundamentalism, and today they are called Ibadis. Okay. So next we will talk about the Quran. What is this Quran about? Okay. But the Quran sometimes spelled as Quran, Quran, some is Koran. So it's considered the most important holy book of Muslims. So this contains some basic information that is found in the Hebrew Bible as well as revelations that were given to Muhammad. So this text is considered as a sacred word of God and supersedes any previous writings. So most Muslims believe that Muhammad's scribes wrote down his words, which became the Quran. Okay, Muhammad himself was never taught to read or write. So the book is written with Allah as the first person speaking through Gabriel to Muhammad. It contains 114 chapters, which are called what? The Surahs. Next is, by the way, scholars believe that the Quran, what should we call it, was compiled shortly after Muhammad's death, under the guidance of Khalid Abu Bakr. Okay, so to note, we have Islamic calendar and its symbols. Okay, the first here is the Ramadan. So the Islamic calendar, also called as the Hijra calendar, is a lunar calendar used in Islamic religious worship. So the calendar began in AD 622, celebrating the journey of Muhammad from Mecca to Medina. So the Islamic calendar indicates the proper days of Islamic holidays and celebrations, including the period of fasting and prayer known as Ramadan, which occurs during the ninth month of the calendar. As in many religions, there is no single image or symbol of Islam that is universally accepted by all Muslims worldwide. The crescent moon and the star has been adopted in some predominantly Muslim countries as a symbol of Islam. Through the crescent moon and star image is believed to predate Islam and was originally a symbol of the Ottoman Empire. So in some other applications, such as the International Red Cross and the Red Crescent humanitarian aid movement, a Red Crescent indicates that followers of Islam are respected and treated accordingly. So the color green is also sometimes associated with Islam, and it was reported as a favorite color of Muhammad's and is often featured prominently in the flags of predominantly Muslim countries. The next is we're going to talk of the 5 pillars of Islam. So Muslims follow the 5 basic pillars that are essential to their faith. Okay, one is Shahada. Shahada. That is to declare one's faith in God and believe in Muhammad. Next is the Salat, to pray 5 times a day. One is at dawn, noon, afternoon, sunset, and evening. Then we have the Zakat, to give to those in need. Then we have the Saum, to fast during Ramadan. And the Hajj, to make a pilgrimage to Makkah at least once during a person's lifetime if the person is able. Alright, so that was it. Next we'll talk of the Sharia law. Okay, Islam's legal system is known as the Sharia law. This faith-based code of conduct directs Muslims on how they should live in nearly every aspect of their lives. Sharia law requires men and women to dress modestly. It also outlines the marriage guidelines and other moral principles for Muslims. So if crimes are committed, Sharia law is known for its harsh punishments. For example, the punishment for theft is amputating a person's hand. Adultery can carry the penalty of death by stoning. However, many Muslims do not support such extreme measures. When we talk of Muslim prayer and holidays, the Prophet Muhammad has created a building's first mosque in the courtyard of his house in Medina. Some mosques today follow some of the same principles he established in AD 622. So Muslim prayer is often conducted in a mosque, large open space, or outdoor courtyard. A mihrab is a decorative feature or a niche in the mosque that indicates the direction to Mecca and therefore the direction to face during prayer. So men and women pray separately, and Muslims may visit a mosque 5 times a day for each of the prayer sessions. So in addition to hosting prayers, mosques often function as public gathering places and social centers. By the way, there are 2 major Muslim holidays. We have the Eid al-Adha. It celebrates the Prophet Muhammad's willingness to sacrifice his son for Allah, and the Eid al-Fitr, marks the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. By the way, Muslim also celebrates other holidays such as the Islamic New Year and the birth of. Okay, so that is one major description of the brief origins of Islam. So follow me in my next video. Okay, so Lumi will come next to this case here. Goodbye for now.